Have you heard of a dish called a cassoulet? Okay, well if you haven't, don't worry about Googling it because we are not making that. But we are making something similar. Welcome back to the Silly Kitchen. Today I am simply calling this recipe a chicken and sausage stew, and it has some of the same elements of a cassoulet, but home cook version, some of the same ingredients, some of the same techniques and elements, but super simple and just as yummy. Well, maybe not just as yummy, but it will be yummy, I promise. There are a lot of ingredients that we're using, and a lot of them are all very common household items: carrots, celery, onions, you know, that holy trinity. I've got chicken thighs, some turkey sausage, chicken stock, a can of diced tomatoes, and some white kidney beans. There's a couple other ingredients that we need once we get cooking, but a lot of this happens and gets built on the stovetop, so we're gonna head over there to assemble all of this in the layers that we need it to be cooked and assembled with. Are you ready? Let's go.
Let's start by getting our pan nice and hot with a little bit of oil on the bottom. I've got 2 onions roughly chopped and 2 cloves of garlic. I am just heating this enough so that the onions kind of bring out that flavor and are a little bit translucent. My carrots go in next, and they are roughly chopped, nice and big chunks for the stew that we're making, and celery as well. Just a little bit of a mix and a little bit of heat to get those flavors together. I don't want to cook them fully. I still want them nice and crunchy. And I'm going to transfer all of those ingredients into a deep roasting pan. I just want to make sure that I have enough room for all the ingredients that are going in. I have a can of white kidney beans that are drained and rinsed, and half of a can of stewed tomatoes. Just going to give it a little bit of a toss in the pan to let all those flavors sit together while we continue on. You do want to season this with a little bit of salt and pepper at this point, just because it is going to be sitting there a little bit and, you know, just hanging out in all of those flavors. The next thing is about 3 cups of stock into my dish here. I am using chicken stock since it's chicken and sausage, but feel free to use whatever stock that you have at home. Our next step is going to go back into that pan. I'm going to add a little extra oil and get that heat back up again as I'm going to cook my sausages. And I'm just giving them a really nice hot sear on each side, getting a little bit of that beautiful kind of crust on the outside. And I like all those flavors that are in that same pan that I use, so that's why I'm putting it in there as well. I am now going to use chicken thighs, and I'm going to put those in the pan skin side down first. And again, we're giving it a nice sear, a nice hot sort of crust on the outside of that skin. Only takes about maybe 5-6 minutes to get that nice sear on the one side before we go and flip them. And just be careful because chicken thighs do have a little bit of that fat, especially with the skin on there. So don't hurt yourself with all of that little speckled grease coming out. All right. We are almost done. Now, you may have noticed my proteins aren't fully cooked. That's okay because this is not done yet. We're still going to season and put it in the oven. So the next thing I'm going to do is use dry parsley flakes all over my pan. Be liberal with this. You want lots of flavor once we get this stew all mixed up. And to finish off, just a couple bay leaves. I'm going to stick them right into kind of the liquidy parts that I can find.
Now that all of that hard work is done, we need to be patient because this needs to go into the oven for 45 minutes or so at 375 degrees. We want to let those proteins obviously cook all the way through, soften up those vegetables, and get all of those flavors coming together in that one dish. So now we wait. Now you may have noticed I only cooked 2 sausages and 6 chickens because I do like to cut up the sausage and share it. So this is a great dinner for 4 and maybe a little bit of leftovers, but adjust your ingredients to less or more depending on your family. And stews and one pot meals like this only get better with time, so leftovers are always a great idea. I love serving this with a fresh baguette, a piece of beautiful French bread to dip and soak up all of those delicious juices. If you want to try this at home, please let me know if you do and if you enjoy it as much as I do. This is just another beautiful comfort food dish inspired by, a really elevated classic. I hope you're cooking lots of great things at home. Subscribe to The Silly Kitchen if you haven't already, and I will see you next time.